Today we're talking about proper gain staging within your mixes. And I can't reiterate how important gain staging is when it comes to so many things in audio production. So in this tutorial, I'm going to give you guys tips and tricks that you can use as guidelines to follow to make sure that you guys have proper gain staging moving forward. And if you guys want to know what these tips and tricks are, stick around after this introduction. Welcome everybody, I'm Dan Spencer and I am the Audio Sorcerer. So this is the channel where I teach you how to perfect your audio recording, mixing, and mastering skills. So before we get to the video, make sure you guys smash that like button, please subscribe and hit that notification bell to know when I have new videos coming out. So without further ado, today we are talking about proper gain staging. And the point of this video is for me to give you a roadmap going forward to properly gain stage your sessions. So I'm going to give you a couple tips that you can follow straight up. You don't have to deviate at all. You could do this completely the way I do it. And it's going to help you have proper gain staging moving forward. Okay? So you may ask, well, why is gain staging important? Well, it's definitely important when you're recording because you want to get a good signal to noise ratio. So that's important. And then when it comes to mixing, the better your actual gain staging is, the better potential you have to get a louder mix and then master. Okay, that is actually very important to getting loud masters. You need to gain stage your mixes properly. Okay, so let's actually get into this here and I will show you how to properly gain stage your sessions. All right, so the first thing we want to do in Pro Tools is we want to go to our meters here and right click, and we want to use sample peak. That's what I like to use. And then I'm actually going to use the snare drum track here because it's very consistent. It's a sampled snare and it has the same loudness every hit, so it'll be very good to use for this example. Let me pull over the actual edit window here. So this is our snare drum here. Now, what we need to do is we need to actually modify the clip gain here to set our initial gain staging, because the fader will not help us because the fader here is post of all this, okay? We need to be adjusting the sound before it hits this whole entire channel strip here, okay? Hopefully that makes sense because we want to adjust it before it gets into our chain, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the snare here on a loop, and what we're going to shoot for is we want to get a level between -20 and -10. So basically our peak would be -10 and our softest would be -20. So my sweet spot is -15. A lot of people say -18. So if you want to shoot for -15 and -18, it'll be perfectly fine. Okay, so let me play the snare track and we'll get our initial levels set. All right, cool. So that was easy. So I had to bring this down to -14.8. And you look at the waveform, yes, it looks pretty small. Remember in Pro Tools, we can increase our waveform by pressing this button here where my mouse is at. See, made the waveform bigger there. So that is our first step in the gain staging. So now what you have to do next is you need to get a VU meter, okay? So I say kill two birds with one stone. I always use tape emulation and I use it on every track. So what I use is the Slate VTM, and this is what it looks like here. So let me unbypass it. So this has a built-in VU meter here. Now, if you look in the manual, it will tell you that the optimal level for this plugin is 0. So this is our first plugin in the chain and we want to hit 0. So this is going to set us right up off the bat for perfect gain staging. So what we're going to do now is actually, let me put this back to Unity there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to play this and we're going to get this to hit around 0. All right, so here we go. All right, So that looks really good. Now don't freak out. We had to turn up the input, 17 dBs, but we do have the output link. So we're keeping our gain staging. That's very important. So as we turn something up on the input side, we want to make sure that the output side goes down evenly. That's keeping even gain staging. Okay, hopefully this is clicking with you guys that had never heard the term gain staging before. We want to keep an even level in and get a even level out. All right. So that right there sets us up perfectly to move forward now. And the idea is as we add plugins down this chain here, we're going to be keeping this right around -15 on our meter here. And that means we're going to have, in my mind, perfect gain staging down the chain. Okay. So now you may ask, yes, that gets you set up good from the start, but what about like the finish school? Okay. So now we need to look at the master meter. So if we go to the master bus here, actually my master bus is a pre-master here. So what you want to shoot for is a peak level between -3 and -6. Now, if you have a very dynamic mix, I definitely recommend putting some bus processing on there and using some bus compression. So I actually use the CLA mix down. There's plenty of bus compressors out there, so you don't have to use this one. So I have this set to gain reduction here, so you can actually see the gain reduction happen. But what you want to shoot for is gain reduction between -2 and -3 on your mix bus, okay? That's going to help reduce some of the dynamics and help you really keep it between -3 and 6, okay? So obviously you don't want to smash your mix bus, but this will help you, keep it intact, all right? So that's one of the keys there. And then I also like to end my mix bus here for you guys that have seen my mix bus video with the Slate VTM also, but I use this on 1/2" 2-track tape here, okay? And I also have it hit right on 0 on the way out. So when you hit this on 0 on the way out, it actually pretty much makes your peak levels be between -3 and -6. It's almost perfect. So if you put this as the last plugin on your mix bus, and you get it to be right around 0, like the loudest part of your song, you're going to be hitting perfect peaks here on the way out. So look at this Slate VTM as a plugin, as a guideline. It's, it's perfect for helping you create perfect gain staging. Okay. So if you use those couple tips that I told you there, so let's do a quick little recap. So you want to use our clip gain here. Let me close up the Slate VTM here. So we want to use our clip gain here to get our initial gain set. We want to get it around -20 and -10 on our meter, on our actual channel, okay? And then once that's set, we want to use a VU meter, and no matter what VU meter you're using, you probably want to get around 0. Now some will be set at like -10, like they actually tell you, hey, this is set to -10. So when you're actually hitting it, if you're hitting -10 on that, that's good. So it's like rated for that, okay? So just keep that in mind. But in this case, for this particular one, we want to hit 0, which we are. And then as you add plugins, make sure that you're keeping the same gain that you're putting in, make sure it's coming out the same, and then that your actual meter here is staying at around, the same level that you set it at from the very beginning. And then on the very end on your mix bus here, make sure that you are peaking around -3 to -6, and you will have perfect gain staging. So I hope you guys learned something in this video. I kind of did straight through. I'm not really doing a lot of editing this video. I just want to kind of talk and just, give it to you straight up. So if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe because I love making this content for you, and hit that notification bell to know how many videos coming out. So with that being said, until the next video, I will see you guys later, and peace out.